Hi everyone, welcome to Rank Advancement Club this evening. Lovely to have you all on. We have a beginning of a new month, so 1st November. I know it sometimes feels a bit sick. You worked so hard last month and then it goes back to zero on the first day of the month, and you've got to wait for it to all the LRPs to start firing. But when your LRPs do start firing, and by the 15th, and you have got volume again that has just grown from the fruits of your labors from enrolling people, it's a wonderful feeling. Then you start building on top of that. So it doesn't go away, and that's why LRPs are really, really, really vital for your business. So doing your wellness consultations on the people that you enrolled last month are vital, so that you can then increase what you did last month. So we just want to do a little bit of congratulations first. If you rank advanced last month, or hit whatever goal you wanted to last month, please put it in the chat. Let's just celebrate you. I know it's not the end of Rank Advancement Club, so this is just a medium one. Some of you most of you won't have hit the goal that you were looking for because you're looking to do it at the end of November. But some of you will have done and have done. So Lisa, congratulations, premiere for the second time. Well done, Lisa. That's amazing. Making that solid. Is there anyone else apart from Rachel? Rachel, you hold off a second. All right, well, I just want to introduce Rachel. I think I saw Rachel come on. Are you there, Rachel?
Yes, I'm here. Can you see?
I can see Rachel, yeah. So Rachel, hi. Congratulations on hitting silver last month. I remember actually it was last Monday. It was last Monday that you came on the call and we did a little strategy or little thing. Then you were saying how far away you were, and then you went for it. So, and I mean, you weren't a million miles away, but you weren't close, you know. So, how far away were you, Rachel, last month? Like last month?
It was about 2,000. Yeah, it was about 1,900, 2,000 off.
Okay, and what made you decide that actually I can do this, or I'm going to go for this?
Well, I think just putting a comment in the chat is brave for anyone to do that, and then you pick up on that and say, well, it's not that much, Rachel. When I was thinking, oh, it's too far, I can't do it, maybe next month. But you saying actually that's doable, and then Daniel and Lisa and everyone saying we can break this down into bite-sized chunks daily. We can do this.
Okay, so what did you do then to actually achieve it?
So yes, obviously I put that comment and it went from there. If I hadn't have been on this, I wouldn't have done it a week ago. There's no chance without all the support from everyone. But also I think limiting beliefs was I felt like I couldn't tell my downline, my builders, that I wanted to get to silver. But obviously you made that possible. So poor Lisa was put under pressure, but she didn't mind that. And I think now it's all about communication. Tell your team where you want to be, and they're more than happy to help you, support you, because they all just said, Rachel, what do you want us to do? And we'll do it. So it was just wonderful. I couldn't have done it without that support. So just communicate, everyone. If you've got a goal, don't be shy about it. Don't think it's too ambitious. I think just go for it. Whatever you want, just go for it. So what happened was the day after, Daniel helped with breaking it down, starting with the BOGOs, and then looking at the detailed genealogy and looking at the gaps, who hasn't ordered or who's only ordered one of the BOG-offs. So I went through each one and I literally spoke to each one individually. I sent a message with the graphic of the buy one, get one free, but I also voice messaged them individually saying, just want to let you know it's the last day. Don't want you to miss out in case you missed this offer. And a lot of them, I think I did it to like 20 people, and I think 3 of them took me up on it and said, oh, thanks, Rachel, I forgot all about it. So sometimes I think putting it in the group chat, because I've got a WhatsApp group, it just gets missed. You need to actually personally contact each one. And that, because they have to reply, because you see the blue ticks, they have to reply yes or no, don't they? But also it made me get in touch with people that I hadn't got in touch with for ages, saying, I just said, how are you doing? Hope you're okay. Is there anything you need help with? And by the way, this offer's shut in. If you want to get it. So it made me really go through all my customers who I hadn't spoke to. So that was brilliant. And that opened up some.
Was there anyone super offended that you'd reached out to them?
No, they weren't, because I started saying, how are you doing? Not spoken ages. How are you getting on with the oils? By the way, this is going on. But because I sent everyone who knows me knows I do annoying voice messages. That's just me on WhatsApp.
So does Rebecca.
Nothing annoying about that.
So does Rebecca.
Best way. Brilliant.
So it was personal to each one. It wasn't just a bum. It was like, how are you doing? How's the family or whatever?
No.
And also I did ask for a few favors, because some of these customers have become real friends, and I said this would be a good favor if you wanted these oils. And one lady said, Jill, she said, I told my husband Paul, Rachel, we really need to do this for Rachel. I was so touched by that. So yeah.
So it sounds like you've got a very good relationship with lots of your customers, which is a great thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't think I could have been as cheeky if it wasn't for that. Yeah.
Yeah. So in some ways, but so I suppose in some ways it's not as, some of the things it isn't. It's not going to make it every time. So now you've got to try and make it solid with proper volume of people that are just going to be doing it naturally.
Yeah.
But you won't be that far away, because there's going to be lots of people that you have signed up and agreed to that will continue on LRP, I assume, right?
Yeah, definitely. We got some good enrollments, so that will hopefully continue. And I know Lisa Franz made it to Elite, so a big congratulations to Lisa as well.
Congratulations,
Amazing.
Lisa.
And we've got like 8 classes booked. Just Lisa, I think she's got about 8 classes booked in the next few weeks. So we're onward and forward.
Do you feel that what you've done there has created momentum?
That's the word I wanted. Yeah. I definitely, because all that groundwork, especially what Lisa's been doing, even though it was not as high for enrollments for her, she's going to get it all this month. So it's definitely, and also I've got now customers that I'm going to be in touch with to do a bit of a consultation, because I haven't spoke to them. They're like, actually, I do need to speak to you about such a thing. So it's great.
Well, Rachel, it's well done. Congratulations. And that momentum that you build, it's only going to snowball bigger and bigger and bigger if you keep it up. Okay. And obviously keep it up to the levels that you can without like throwing yourself too far off balance. But try and get balance with that momentum, and you'll just start hitting other ranks, and your team will start going through the ranks as well. And so just keep that up, Rachel. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Huge acknowledgement, Rachel, for like pushing past the limiting belief, because that's what I'm going to be talking about a bit, that stops a lot of us, and it will keep coming up. But you succeeded, and it wasn't as bad as you thought, and it's got results, and it's just, that's where the magic is. That's what makes success, basically. So well done. That's brilliant.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Well done, Rachel. And well done to Lisa and Rachel's team for supporting her, and Lisa for supporting, but also going for it yourself, hitting Elite. Well done, Lisa.
Thank you.
Could I add just one thing? Rachel messaged me, and it inspired me so much, because I don't know if you all know, Rachel's also doing Diamond Club, which is got massive requirements with it. I think is it 16 enrollments you needed to do as a team? Was it 16, Rachel? I know you're about to come.
14 this
14.
Month. Yeah,
what was great was because we've been all tracking excitedly her volume, and then she put, looks like I'm silver, and then some nice stuff for me and Lindsay, and then she put, oh, not quite there, with the work, and showed that she'd done 13 out of 14 enrollments. And I just loved, like, it was like, actually, I've still got a bit more to do. I'm gonna smash this. She's done it. She's now the only remaining person on our team doing Diamond Club, which in itself shows what a magnificent achievement that is. And she's really inspiring so many people. I was speaking to her upline today. She's inspired. It's just amazing what happens. And I hope those on this call also inspired about it. I know Lindsay and I, and just remember this feeling. It's so great. And next we'll be, I'm sure, talking about Lisa, who will be at silver, and this will be going, and it's just wonderful. So pleased for you, Rachel. You're a great example to us. So well done.
Thank you so much.
Well done, Rachel. And I also just wanted to say, I think Chrissy's on Discord. Are you on here, Chrissy? We'll get Chrissy.
Yeah, I am, but I was going to say my child's sleeping beside me.
But don't worry, I won't make you speak, Chrissy.
Okay.
But just wanted to say congratulations, Chrissy, because Chrissy wasn't able to come on Power 3 Club earlier, but she got her second level Power 3 and actually pushed through some of her limiting beliefs last week as well. So well done, Chrissy. That's amazing.
Thank you. We can chat more next time if you want.
Yeah, we really want to hear it. So yeah, we'll do that next time. But
cool.
Congratulations. Going to turn the time over to Rebecca, who's going to be talking about overcoming obstacles. What did you call it?
Own your success.
It's about owning your success. So over to you, Bex.
Thanks, Louis.
I will just switch computers. Yeah. And then you can share your screen.
Yeah. I'll do that. Thanks, baby. Oh, yeah. Thank you. Okay, let me just get my PowerPoint up. Okay. Okay. Good evening, everybody. It was lovely to hear some of the success stories there, and to hear, like I said, Rachel overcoming your limiting beliefs, and it sounds like others as well are doing that. And that's pretty much a big part of the doTERRA journey. So when Nathan asked us to talk about this topic, well, when we kind of discussed the topics together of what we thought were like the key things for the RAC Club. And this is one of the things that I feel really strongly about. Because it's something that we've definitely gone through, Nathan and I, and I can totally see how it could have easily stopped me at many points, and it did slow me a little bit at certain points. Definitely had to address quite a few of my limiting beliefs, but it seems to be the thing that is there for everybody, right? And lots of people that we've mentored struggle with this, even if you don't realize that that's what's stopping you. Usually, those of you that perhaps haven't achieved the goal that you set yourself to achieve this month, it's down to you, right? There's no one else you can blame. We'll come up with excuses, and they can be really good excuses. I'm not saying they're not, and there can be some really good blocks, but ultimately the difference between achieving something or not is down to you. When it comes to doTERRA, it's definitely down to you. So we're going to address some of these tonight. There we go. So this is interesting, right? Psychologists place excuse making in the self-handicapping, self-sabotaging category. So it's a behavior that hurts our own performance. So it's really detrimental to ourselves. So every time we make an excuse, for those that know me, I'm ashamed to admit that I'm still quite a late person. Haven't got that much better at being late to most things. I'm that mum that people panic at the school run if I'm there before them. They're like, oh my goodness, have we missed like the first part of the day or something? Like, why am I here after you? So I am literally known for being late, and I've stopped making excuses because bottom line is I just slept in, or I just am not that great at getting there on time. And every time I make an excuse, I definitely realized this. I was giving away some of my power. It's time to own it. Once you own it, then it's not detrimental to you. And then you can start looking at yourself, and then you have a choice, right? Then you have a choice whether you want to do something about it, rather than putting it out to this outside thing that's happened to you. Then you have no chance of changing that. So excuses are just hurtful to ourselves. Why? So then why are excuses so common, and why do we all love to make them? And we can tell them to ourselves so much that it really becomes so believable to ourselves, and we convince ourselves that actually we didn't do something because of XYZ, and it really was because of that, and it wasn't to do with us. And it's because of this. I mean, look at this guy. He's having a lovely time in his comfy chair there. Human nature, we love to be in our comfort zone. We often do lots of things to make sure we stay in our comfort zone. So again, consciously, and in our subconscious minds, we are making excuses that we might probably, I say might or probably not be aware of, even because it's a protective thing. It's our mind protecting us against failure, against being in a place that we don't want to be, against being out of our comfort zone, justifying us. We don't want to feel bad. We don't want to feel like we've not achieved something. So the safest thing to do is to stay in the place that we know, and we can make excuses then and feel justified why we haven't achieved what we set out to achieve. And that makes us feel good, right? And we can cozy up in our chair again, watch our movie and forget about it, and give ourselves the goal off and let ourselves out. So this is the antidote to that, okay? Because on a daily basis, your mind is going to fight to keep you back in that comfort zone. Literally, the thing that you've got against that is your commitment that you make in that moment when you're fully on board with what you want to achieve, okay? So you make your goal. You've all decided to do doTERRA to some degree. You're all on this RAC program, and you guys are the committed ones. Nate told me at the beginning there were lots of people coming on, and week by week it's got less and less. This is always the way with every single course out there in doTERRA that we've attended or run and been part of. When we talk to corporate, it's a similar thing, like Diamond Club, like Daniel was saying. The last one in his team is Rachel that's in it. It's just what it is, right? It's just human nature. At the beginning, lots of people fit, and yes, big life things can happen, okay? And I'm excusing those, and there's a time to have a break. But generally speaking, a lot of people are not staying true to their commitments. And that's when the excuses come in, and that's when people start believing their limiting beliefs, and it starts to take over, and it will stop them from achieving their dreams. And it's going to be in every single area of life, right? doTERRA is a mirror of other things you want to achieve in life, whether it's exercise, health, emotional improvement, whatever it is. You're always going to come across obstacles, and doTERRA is absolutely no different to that. So at the beginning, you can be all excited, but if you are not 100% in and to whatever your goal is, and that could be to get to elite, it could be to teach one class every single month, it could be to sample one person every day, your goals will be different, right? This is your goal. No one's telling you what your goal has to be, which is just brilliant in doTERRA. You get to set your goal. But if you are not 100% committed, I promise you will not achieve that, because there are too many things that are going to come in your way, that come in all of our way. So do you have both feet in? If you don't, you decide tonight you have both feet in, and you are not going to give yourself an out. I love this quote at the bottom here. It is not in the stars to hold our destiny, but in ourselves. Okay, there are, it's lovely to read stars, horoscopes and all those kind of things. I would enjoy that too, but ultimately it is down to you, not anything else. So for example, during this next month of RAC, which is you've got another month to really kind of go for it, there'll be moments when you'll need to sacrifice pretty much everything at that point, and you might not want to. It might be a really good friend's outing that they've invited you on, and you haven't quite achieved your goal, and you really need to, if you want to commit to something, if you want to achieve your goal, then you perhaps can't do that, right? Or there could be some family time, and I am one for family time, and yes, you need to put those family times in. They are sacred, but that needs to be a few times when achieving goals, and then that creates the future you're going to have when you can then choose more and more to do all the things you enjoy, But achieving your goals does take commitment. You know, you time, there's a balance, because obviously you need to keep your mind in the right place, but too much you time, you've probably got to sacrifice a lot of that while you're achieving your goals. What other things? Money, yeah, possessions, sleep, yeah, getting up earlier, going to bed a bit later, you know, obviously in balance. You don't want to be completely haggard, but, you know, looking at all the things you can do, and you want to make as many sacrifices as you can to achieve your goal. There's going to be a lot of sacrifices, which is why your drive has to be great. You know, certainly those lovely relaxing evenings that perhaps you're used to. Some people I know really enjoy their evenings. When I was going for it in doTERRA, I don't remember having an evening. And that's just the way it was. And that was worth it to me. Okay. Because I did have a big goal, and I really wasn't going to let anything stop me. And I just kept going. And so, you know, when I chat to people, and, you know, I didn't even really I hardly sat down at all at night time, for example. And for some people, that's something that they do every single night and won't see that as something that they can give up. But things like that, it is definitely time to put aside and think, do you know what, in the future I can do that. But for now, I'm going to be using that time to create things in my mind and ponder and phone people. So really using every moment you can to achieve your goals. And then, you know, you've done everything, right? So there are lots of obstacles, excuses that are going to come everyone's way. Here are some of them. We'll discuss them a bit more in a second. So just to give you an example, I know times right now were difficult, and I don't want to dwell on that too much, because there's always a way through. But I do relate to, you know, these being times when COVID is still kind of there, right? And perhaps you need to be better on social media than you are. So if that is the case, then you need to up level those skills. So it's about making these limiting beliefs, making these excuses that you have, and turning them into solutions, right? So looking at everything and saying, well, how can I make this better? And for this next month, obviously you haven't got time to suddenly up level your social media skills, but you can definitely focus on things that you can do, right? And looking at your limiting beliefs and putting a positive spin on them. But when we started, it was similar. We had in a different way. This is like a doTERRA event at the beginning. This was the jam-packed, full London doTERRA event. This was the tiny warehouse we had. And the amount of people that were just telling us that the UK market was a flop, that people had tried to build the UK market so many times, and it was just really difficult, and we probably weren't going to have success. And then when I went to visit, I was like, my goodness, it's true. You know, really, this in the UK for 2 years, or I think even 3 years. And that was it. You know, no one was really getting much success. There weren't any success stories. And I could have been completely turned off by this, thinking, okay, maybe the English market isn't open to this. But instead, I was like, okay, there's got to be a way through. We will find a way through. We've got to be able to make this work. I can't see why the English market wouldn't be open to this. I love these oils. They're incredible. And it's the same with this situation now. There could be thoughts going through your head, like, people don't have as much money at the moment. I can't get as much face-to-face contact. You know, these are quite common things that we're kind of hearing back from people. But actually, people do have enough money when it comes to their health. And right now, people need the oils more than ever, if not on a physical level, on an emotional level. So what more of a responsibility do we have to go and share these with people? And I bet as you share them, people will feel that genuine desire that you have to share with them because you care, and they will hear you. And people will put their health above their money if they understand. If they really understand what doTERRA can do for them, money is not a block. And we see this time and time again in like countries where, you know, like Romania, where a home essentials kit is their whole month's salary, and people are still purchasing, and Romania is growing so fast. So whatever your kind of limiting thought is, you bet there's someone else completely thriving off the spin-off of that limiting thought, of the positive version of that. So, you know, I could have gone to this meeting and I could have sat there and thought, yeah, do you know what? I love these oils, but I can't really see there being much of a future for me. So I'll just casually share them, but I'm not going to really put my heart into this because we had no money at the time and I needed to make money quickly. So I could really have thought, you know what, I need to go and get a proper job here and give up on this kind of dream I have to make doTERRA into my job. But something inside me just really felt like this was going to work, and I didn't know how. I didn't have a clue how, in fact, at the beginning. But I just knew I had to take one day at a time and follow that passion I had and just keep pushing up those limiting thoughts. So here are some of my obstacles. You might relate to these. You probably have a list. And I don't reckon this was my whole list, to be fair. There's probably a double at least that I've had. So all of these obstacles can be overcome. I know health can be a big one, right? But if you suffer with like a chronic health condition, which I know some people do, definitely some people in our downline that we've mentored have, then that can be turned into a positive for sure, because of the people that you're going to be connecting with, and the way that you're going to be using the oils and your testimonials will speak louder to that audience, right? So it's about looking at your obstacles and really thinking, focusing on the positive. Don't focus on the negative, because whatever you focus on will grow. And when you're trying to succeed in something, there is no space for the negative. And I think, I can't remember exactly, but I think it's about 90% of our thoughts, and we have a lot of thoughts a day. Most of them are subconscious, so we're not even aware of them. But 90% are negative thoughts. So if you catch yourself focusing on a negative, imagine all those other ones you've already kind of let go through your system. So you've really got to take control of the ones that you're catching and choose to look at it differently and go, hey, what's the positive side of that? And then start feeding that and see how things start changing. It's incredible. Like, you actually start to feel different. You'll start to see possibilities rather than more obstacles. And the way you interact with others will just be different, and you'll feel lighter, and you'll feel the possibility coming in rather than the impossibility. And that will just make all the difference to your business. Limiting thoughts. I am quite a big sufferer from these, I'd say. I'm trying to think of the word to use for this. Yeah, so I've definitely had these. Nathan doesn't really struggle with these. That's a man thing or just in our marriage. So he's been really helpful with me with my limiting thoughts. But I have felt all of these, especially during the first year of the business, right? You know, the first year of the business, I grew quite slowly. That was when I was doing it on my own. I believed, but I wasn't like fully in at that point. I loved the oils, passionate about them, but had lots of obstacles in my way. I felt at the time hadn't quite worked out what I was doing, or I was hoping that the UK market was going to work, but still had those kind of thoughts in my head of what I'd heard people saying, that maybe the UK market isn't going to work. And as I was going around the country teaching classes and not getting a great uptake most of the time, that was kind of feeding that part of my brain saying, oh, maybe they're right. So with that, I definitely felt all these things. It's like, I can't even enroll people. I'm doing teaching these classes. I'm so passionate about the oils, and I'm not selling anything. And that was at the beginning. So if that's you, then you can get much better. I got much better at enrolling. And often it's just by thinking, no, that's not true. It's not that I'm not good at enrolling. I'm just not good at enrolling yet. So just add the yet into it. And then that opens up possibility again. And you just practice and you just keep going and you tweak things and you ask your upline for help. But you can definitely get through all of these limiting thoughts, believe me. And if you've got any of these, I promise you can overcome them. And these are not true. None of these are true. Not good on social media. That is probably something at this point that you might want to up level a little bit. It was interesting though, because we were talking to Elise and Patrick Shedevy the other day, who you might not, all of you might not know, but there are all of our upline. I'm pretty sure on this call, and very successful. They're the most successful couple in doTERRA, triple diamond. So they've done presidential diamond twice, and the third business, they're now into diamond as well. So pretty successful. And she's hired someone to do her social media because she is rubbish at social media, and that's what she can do at the moment. She's got the money for it, right? Great, amazing for her. But she says that people say to her that her Instagram, she was saying, was the best one they've ever seen, and wow, this is amazing. But she says she doesn't really get many people from that. She says, you know, because that's not her, because that's not her heart. She's much more of a face-to-face person. So even during COVID, she found ways to do her face-to-face because that was her genuine way. And that's the same with me as well, right? I'm not really a social media person. It actually drains me more than excites me. So I'm quite real with myself. I'm probably not going to attract that many people in social media, but still it's something that I need to have a presence on, but it's not what I'm going to put all my heart in. So, you know, follow what your passions are. And even now, even during like lockdown and stuff, don't get put off if you are not a social media person. I mean, if you are, that's great, because you probably will attract lots of people in that area because that's in you and you're being genuine and it will just flow for you. But if you're someone like me, Elise as well, who's just not into it, and there's quite a few of us out there that aren't that great on social media and perhaps don't want to be, then there are other ways through as well. But I do recommend up-leveling your skills too, and always trying to expand and having a presence in social media. Feel like only you can build this business. There are many ways to build this business. So I love this. Anthony Robbins does some really good books. Just going to read there again. So 3 decisions that control your destiny, and I have really seen this over and over again. So first of all, we spoke about this already. Your decisions about what to focus on, what you notice, that is your decision. It might not feel like it's your decision, but again, that's the trick of your subconscious mind, and you get into these habits. So the first step is to catch yourself. You know, maybe sometimes it's with me, sometimes I suddenly pay more attention to how I'm feeling, because the mood sometimes, yes, my thoughts. So I'll catch my mood and think, okay, I'm feeling like this. So what am I thinking to make me feel like this? And what am I focusing on? And then you can try and go backwards and find that thought and then address it and go, okay, do I want to focus on that side of it, or can I look at a positive spin on it and focus on that? Okay, because that's not true. Often if you look at it, ways to look at it, right? Pretty much every time I've done that, the thought that I've had is not 100% true. So why choose to focus on the negative spin of it? Second, your decisions about what things mean to you. So again, you know, I've had this time again, and you've probably all had this experience where you're with someone else, that you're in the same conversation, you can hear the same thing, and you'll both have a different response to it. And sometimes it can be an opposite response. So again, you know, even if you're really sure that someone said something or something, or you're thinking a thought that you're thinking, no, that is true, then you can then choose how you're going to react to it, right? Because then that results in a certain action. So it's about choosing how you're going to respond to situations too. And for example, like if a class was a complete failure, you could easily choose to go, right, well, that was all because of me. You know, I just wasn't on form. People aren't really interested in the oils. You can start going down a negative spiral that's going to start having a heavy effect on you and make it much harder for you to attract people to your next class. Or you could go, do you know what, I was a bit tired that day. Maybe I wasn't as good as I normally am, and that's okay, because next class I'll be better, and has a bad class. So you look at it that way. Or you could just simply say, do you know what, maybe that was just the wrong audience. I just didn't attract the right people to that class, and that's going to happen when you're teaching classes. Some classes are going to be good, some are going to be not so good, and that's okay. Let's just move on and try and learn from that one and think, well, did I sample them enough? Did I create interest? Were they the right type of people? And start looking at it from a more positive spin, a more proactive spin. And then thirdly, it is your decision about what to do to create the results you desire. So what are you going to do? So this is how you can see that the success of anything is in completely your hands. With the decision, what to focus on, what you're going to choose things to mean to you, and then what you're going to do about it. What are you going to do to make sure you get success? And to try and think about that in all the kind of situations that you have with every kind of limiting belief that you have. If you think you can do a thing or think you can't do a thing, you're right. So again, it's going back to the power of your thoughts. And I like this about embracing fear. To be successful in anything in life, I think you've got to get quite comfortable with having fear, be your constant companion, being your little friend, and getting used to that feeling of fear and actually almost kind of embracing it and going, wow, okay, if I'm feeling fearful about something, I'm probably on the right path here because I'm stepping out my comfort zone. My mind is trying to protect myself, so it's making me feel fearful, so then I can probably make up some kind of excuse to stop myself from doing it. Instead, go, all right, fear, nice, this is okay. I'm feeling a bit fearful. This is great. I'm going to move forwards. I'm going to do it. I'm going to try my best. Who cares if I don't do really well? So don't put such high expectations. Just go and do it. Just give it a shot. And each time I've done that, and one of the commitments I did to myself at the beginning of doTERRA was to kind of say yes to as many kind of doTERRA related things as I could. And I made myself do that so that in the moment when I was feeling a bit fearful, I couldn't say no. And as I did the things, when I was thinking in my head, I have no idea what I'm going to do, when I did different presentations on different things, or larger groups at the beginning when I was a bit scared, and I did it, and then afterwards it's always not as bad. Like with Rachel, I'm going to use Rachel again as the example just because you shared at the beginning, Rachel. You probably had some fears about calling those people, and then as you start doing it, you're like, okay, that actually isn't as bad. It's like no one's on the phone down, no one's being rude. Whereas if you sat and just thought about it, it grows and grows in your mind, you're debated, but you can't do it. And then you make up some excuse like, oh, now I've run out of time, can't do it, oh well. So it is about just embracing that fear and turning it into action and just trying your best. And then you'll realize it's not bad as you think. And you'll start to get really excited about what you can achieve. And it will give you more belief in yourself and in your progression as well. So I've just started running. If anyone knows a little bit about my kind of health situations, I've suffered from bad knees and a really bad back for quite a long time. I had a skydiving accident in my early 20s and it really scuppered my back, which sometimes is so debilitating I just kind of collapse on the floor and can hardly move. And then that seems to have been affecting my knees as well. So I have sometimes gone through, like, the longest I think it lasted was maybe a couple of months where I couldn't even really walk around the house. I was in so much agony. Anyways, I've been working on different things and my thoughts related to my physical, because I really feel strongly more and more that our emotions are so connected to our physical, right, and addressing them. So I've been working on that myself, my personal stuff. Anyways, I started this time since I was maybe, I think in my early 20s was the last time I ran properly. And I've been running for 2K every day. Well, no, 2 miles, 3.5K I worked out. And the other day I did a 7K run and no pain at all. And I was actually buzzing. And I know that's not huge for people that run at all. But for me, that is absolutely massive. And I did that kind of one step at a time. And it's been a long process for me. And you know, here's this picture. This is why this picture really spoke to me, because, you know, you could be at the bottom of a mountain or beginning of a marathon. That's my end goal, right? Is a marathon. It seems, whoa, way too big. And these limiting thoughts, of course, come flooding in then, and all these excuses and obstacles. But if you break it down into smaller steps, again, sorry, Rachel, I'm picking on you a lot tonight, but in a good way. But Rachel said that Daniel actually helped her to break it down the steps. That is such a good way of doing it. So have your big goals, but the limiting thoughts are going to be huge there, right? But when you break it down into smaller steps, just the next thing, then the limiting thoughts aren't as strong, because your self-belief can believe that. It can believe it can do that one next thing, because it's not so far from the thing you've already achieved. So that's my real kind of take-home message, if you like, that there are many ways of doing this business, and get over those feelings of failure, get over those limiting thoughts and those feelings of being overwhelmed, and literally just take one step at a time. And, you know, if you're scared to, I mean, you're all sampling, so that's, you're not scared of sampling, but if you can sample one person, it's the kind of the lesson here. You can sample 100. If you can enroll one person, you can enroll 1,000 people, you know? So you can do it once. If you can do something once, you can just multiply that. If you can find one builder, you can find 100 builders. And then, you know, you're more than Presidential Diamond if you find 100 builders. So these are the things that your brain can really kind of handle, just focusing on those small things. But then you can look at that and go, I've done that now. I just need to keep doing that, and I'm going to get there. And then that helps you to kind of dissolve those limiting thoughts when you look at the bigger goals. So my challenge from today's session is to go home. You're already in your homes. So tonight might be a bit too late, but over the course of this week is to really be real with what your limiting thoughts are. And you really have to ponder this. Some of them will come to you straight away, right? They're the ones that are in your conscious mind. But I want you to really try and dig deeper and find the ones that are in your subconscious mind and pull them out and put them down on paper so you can look at them. And you can also do this with someone else as well, perhaps, because that's sometimes helpful, because they're often good at going, what? No way, that's not a limiting thought for you. You're brilliant. Or, you know, and sometimes it's great to have an onlooker helping you. But often you can do it yourself. Once it's on paper, you often look at it and go, okay, because it detaches you from it. You're not feeling the emotion of it. So it's not so big anymore. It's on paper, and you can look at it and go, that's not true. I don't actually believe that. I believe I can do that. So then I want you to put the positive turnaround underneath each of those limiting thoughts. And also do that for your excuses as well. So come up with all your excuses and then give solutions to all those excuses. So find your solution. And it could be, some excuses are bigger than others. So some, again, might be a step-by-step solution that you might, like with your health, for example, it might be like, right, I need to eat better to give myself more energy. I need to sleep better. I need to meditate. I need to start taking a lifelong vitality if you're not already. These are things I had to do because I was so drained when I started the business. I was so drained. I was on borderline chronic anything, and that's not a great place to start a business while you've got 3 little at home. So I was forced to address my health first. So, you know, look at these excuses and see how you can best negate them as well. And then those things, then put them somewhere so you can see them and refer to them quite often. And that will really help you with the success of your RAC club, but also beyond, on and beyond to the end of your doTERRA journey. And that is the end of my presentation tonight. So I'm going to come out of there. So anyone got any comments at all on that? I think Nathan, I could just hear Nathan on a phone call there. Oh man, I've just got rid of anyone got any comments, anything they want to share perhaps a limiting thought that you've got over that you might want to share with everyone else, that could, because it's always helpful to hear people's limiting thoughts you've overcome, or an excuse that perhaps you've overcome, or something perhaps you've noticed that's holding you back in your business. Or any thoughts at all relating on that? Seems that I can pick up.
I'll kind of just say something. I've been doing quite a lot of work on limiting thoughts, because I know that's really holding me back. I got off to a really good start, and then I think I had a lead sort of come back to me with something that really, really hit me, and it completely knocked my confidence. And so, just one of your last slides there, Becky, where you were saying, just if you can do it once, you can do it again and again and again. And that's kind of where I've almost like had to talk myself down from the overwhelm and just say, okay, you've got the grounding, just keep working on the basics, and just, like you say, do one step at a time, one day at a time. And these calls have actually really helped me with that, just to sort of consolidate what I have learned, and that it's okay to go at your own pace. So yeah, thank you for sharing that today, especially.
Oh, amazing. Thank you. Thanks so much for sharing as well, because I know it can be a bit daunting sharing. So thank you so much. Yeah, I think, we can be our worst enemies, can't we? We can overthink things so much. And things do happen to all of us. Things are gonna kind of come up. That's just what life is, and things are going to stop us in our motion. And that's when we can choose. That's when we choose, right, are we going to get stopped by this, or are we just going to push through that action? And that's why with doTERRA it's also quite important, very important, to have 3 months in advance kind of stuff placed in your diary to do with doTERRA. There will be moments, well, there might not, and don't want to put this on everyone's business, but there probably are going to be moments when it's going to feel perhaps just a little bit too hard. And you might feel like, gosh, I don't think I can do this actually. And our upline, Natalie Harris, I remember her saying at the very beginning when she introduced the business to us, she was like, you can decide doTERRA is not for you, and that's fine, but never decide that after a bad class or when you're not feeling great. Never come to it from that space. And she was so wise, because there were moments when I was like, oh, this is too much, I'm going to quit. And I think I said it out loud more for like effect. And Nathan's heard me say that a few times. But actually in my heart, I knew I wasn't. I knew I loved doTERRA, and I could get there. But sometimes it is hard. It really is, guys. And, when we sit around the tables with presidential diamonds, blues, and even Elise and Patrick, triple prezzies, there are so many times when they felt like they were going to quit. And there's so many things that made them think, you know, we can't do this. So it always kind of made me think, gosh, I could have been that elite then that decided not to do it, and then suddenly find out years later that the presidential diamond me had exactly the same limiting beliefs, but the only difference between us was that one chose to stay in the comfort zone and the other one chose to not believe those limiting beliefs and just keep fighting. And sometimes it's just a matter of, which is why it's great to have things in the diary, of almost just not thinking, just having to put yourself aside because you have to go and perform now in a class. And then that class then feeds that other side of you that goes, I can do this. And so it's important to have action steps in place, because then you haven't got too much time to dwell and stay in that limiting belief place as well. So thank you very much for sharing.
Advice.
You're welcome. Any questions at all before I call Nathan in? Because I think Nathan wants to just have a little chat before we end the call. Oh, I think he's coming now. Hey, baby. We're finished. Yeah. I stuck to time tonight, didn't I? I don't even know what the time is, but I feel like I stuck to time.
Did you cancel it? End it?
No.
You still on?
I think so. Yeah. I'm still on.
Okay.
Has it ended on yours? I thought you wanted to come on and just...
Yeah, I do, yeah.
Okay. I'll mute myself.
Yeah.
Lovely seeing you, mate. Good luck for the next month.
If you just... Yeah. Hey everyone. So thanks Rebecca for doing that. I think Rebecca's just coming off working out how to take off the share screen. Thanks, babe.
It's just disappeared on
This is
me.
a comedy. So just want to open it up for the last 5-10 minutes to anybody that has got any questions about their structure, strategy, anything they want to go over for this month. I mean, it's the first of the month, we're starting afresh, but it's, you know, you've got your goals to achieve for the for the end of this month. So anyone got anything? And just before that, actually, I have sent out a form on the Facebook group for our RAC Club. It'd be very, very useful for yourself and for me if you can fill out that form. I really need everyone that signed up the first form to fill out this form, whether you are less committed now or whether you're more committed. Please fill it out because it'd be very, very useful to know how I can help you more. And also you can see kind of where you need to be at. If you can fill that out as soon as possible, only take 10 minutes. That'd be really great. It's on the Facebook group as well. So anyone need any help with anything or any questions about their structure or rank? Everyone's still committed? Excited? You feel that you know where you're going, know what you've got to do, and you're going to go do it? Good. Good. Well, I'm excited. Give it a go.
I'll come back and have just a comment on.
Can I ask a question, Nathan?
Yeah, so push hard this month and finish strong. So I was saying on Power 3, the most important times of the month are the first of the month, so the very beginning part of the month, the 16th of the month, because that's when you know all the LRPs or most of the LRPs are fired, because lots of them are looking to get their Power 3, their POM, product of the month, which is in the first 15 days, which is why doTERRA do that. So it gets all the LRPs fired in the beginning of the month. And then the second half of the month, you kind of know where you've roughly got to be, what work you've got left to do. So the next most important time of the month is the last week and the very last 2 days. You can achieve so much in that last 2 days. You know, you might be You might have to achieve 2,000 this month to get to elite. You might be on 1,000 with volume from last month, and you've got to do another 2,000 this month, and you do very well, and then it's the last 2 days and you've still got 500 left. There's still so much you can do to get that 500 in those last days. So it is, you know, the most important part of ranking is those last 2 days. So you know, there are some important times. Jan, you had a question?
Yes, please. I had over 200 leads last month, and
You're
I
on
think
mute.
I had
I
about.
can't hear you. Oh no, you're not. Sorry.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, I was on silent.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you, yes.
Okay, so I had up to about 200 leads last month, and I had about 100 people book onto a class or classes, and I do classes every day, but the majority of the numbers didn't appear, even though they booked, you know, and it must be something I'm doing because it seems to be a theme.
Is this online? I'm assuming this is online.
Yeah, online, yes.
Online is a different kettle of fish. It is a much bigger numbers game. So it can be either something you're doing, not committing people, or it could be the type of people you're attracting just aren't really interested.
Right. But even though they've booked, I suppose it is still.
It's a free class. It's a free class booked. There's nothing to commit them. I mean, I did it the other day. I booked on something I didn't even mean to really book onto it, but I did, and then it wanted a bit more information, which I didn't want to give. So, but it was still booking me onto the class for something, and so it's a much bigger numbers game, Jan.
Okay.
And are you spending time, Jan, contacting them before the class and everything? Do you have that conversation? Do you try and sample? Do you build a relationship?
The one thing I don't do at the moment is sample, unless I'm meeting people, which I do sample them. But the ones I'm attracting on the Facebook ads, it's the WhatsApp, it's trying to ring them, it's sending multiple messages, but they don't engage. And I'm beginning to think perhaps it is my targeting on the ad.
I would say that's what it is.
Probably not the right market.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, what kind of messages are you sending to them to reach out to them? Like, what kind of are you saying?
Yeah, I have. Well, I think they're varied actually. I've got a number of videos which I send, or a drip feed with them. Yeah. I have a PDF about what to expect on the class. I even leave voice messages on the WhatsApp. You know, really, as soon as I know they've booked, you know, they're my target, you know. Obviously the ones I haven't booked as well, but when they've booked, that's the difference, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
But it's really, even people say okay and everything, but they don't engage like I've had previously. So it must be maybe the target audience that I'm using.
I think so.
Yeah, probably is. I mean, especially, I mean, do you do anything personal, like trying to say to them, you know, let's have a chat about what you want to address in the class so we can make it meet your needs? Are you making it personal to them?
Well, the only thing I do about that at the moment is on my Calendly, I have a form which I ask what do they want to achieve by attending the class. So I do get varied comments on that, but that's probably not enough.
No, I mean, the ones that are responding to that, because they're the ones I would say if someone fills out that, then you could say, okay, well, now we have a follow-up conversation so I can really kind of find out more from you. I'd be surprised if they didn't respond. You know, if they're taking the time to fill that.
Yeah, but I make it a condition that they respond to that part of the form.
Okay.
But they do fill it out. But really just trying to understand what this is, because it's quite baffling. You know, it's about the second or third month it's happening. And even though I target on Facebook ads, you know, it's appropriate, it's the normal people. but I have added a few extras and, you know, different kinds of targeting. So maybe it's that.
Are people, because I know there's a few people, you know, doing a similar thing, Jan, are they finding the same thing at the moment, would you say? Or have you spoken to anyone else that's doing a similar thing?
Well, I am actually reaching out, just trying to get some sort of conversations going for this early month, because it's got to a point where I really need to understand it for myself. But that's my logic thinking so far, because it didn't happen when I first started, but now it is. And sometimes I think maybe the targeting is more complex than we understand.
Yes, and if you're doing the same thing that you did at the beginning,
yeah,
then that would, you know, suggest that, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I just think that you try to be creative with the people that you're trying to target, and maybe it's not being creative, it's causing a problem.
I've also got something else to help you, Jan, as well. Is you need multiple ways of finding people.
Right.
So you need to create a finding plan if you haven't already.
Yes.
And you need to come up with multiple ways. They can be multiple ways online. They can be live, but you need multiple ways for when stuff like this happens, you know, because you may not be able to fix it. You probably are going to be able to figure it out, but you may not be able to, and you need other ways to find people.
Yes, indeed. And I've been teaching that to my team, but, you know, yeah, you've got to get more creative. I mean, LinkedIn, you know, Facebook groups, whatever it is that really starts it off. But probably getting out there a bit more might help more as well.
Absolutely.
Like stuff, I would mix live and online. So everyone that does online, I would encourage them to do live as well. And everyone that's live, I would encourage them to do some online as well. So mix it all up, because the live is easier in some ways, harder in others. And online is, I mean, people think online's easy. It's not easy. No. It's a lot of hard work, but it is more comfortable. Okay. Well, I'd say live is maybe less hard work, but is more uncomfortable.
Yeah.
You know, because you can build relationships easier. So you can get to know people much quicker and better, and find builders maybe a bit faster, because you can you know, doing that live. So live's better in that regard, but online you can get to more people quicker, and you can find a bigger audience.
Yeah.
And you don't have to leave your house.
It's also going back to your contact list, your initial contact list, right? Like, and making people do that again, saying, okay, let's get back to that contact list, recreating it, because you'll think of different people and reaching out to those people again and asking for like hosted classes, you know, doing things like that as well. Like, everyone's got a warm market, and they've always got people on there that you haven't thought of, always, if they really think about it.
Yeah, great. Hosted
things
classes
like that.
You've probably got loads of people you could do hosted classes with, online or live, Jan.
And reaching down to your existing customers as well, you know, because you've got lots of customers under you, Jan, so you could reach out to them and say that you're doing a special offer this month leading up to Christmas. It's a lovely Christmas thing to do.
Yeah, I'm very good on the old MailChimp and capturing people. That's okay, but I think it seems a bit cold sometimes when we do the online approach.
Yeah,
I would call them.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say that. Maybe we ought to, or I ought to get that list and start ringing them.
Yeah, that's what I would do.
That's all. If we're trying to get a hosted class, that's what we call every time.
Yeah, I used to spend like 2 hours a day just calling down the hosted class list.
And build that rapport, get excited. It's like a customer care call.
Yeah.
You know, so, you know, look at all the people that are doing the first thing to do is look at all the people that are doing LRPs. All your customers doing LRPs, give them a call and, you know.
Oh, yes, I do. I'm well in with those people. That's fine. It's the people that you don't reach who aren't on LRP. There's a number of those.
Yeah.
But have you asked those people on LRP, all of them, if they would host a class?
Oh, no, thank you. Yeah. No, I haven't.
That's the thing to do.
Okay.
They're your best.
Because they love the oils, right? And you can even say to them, look, as a reward, and I've been noticing you're loving the oils, I'd love to come to your house for free and teach your friends and family, and also offer you some free gifts. So it's like it's a real kind of reward you're doing for them for being a loyal customer.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Thanks, Becky. That's great.
I find that one is really useful.
We love doing that. When we hit Presidential Diamond, actually, that was one of our key activities we did. We were like, how are we going to get 50 plus enrollments and it was like, it has to be hosted classes because I don't have those classes booked in. So that's when we did that, and we got quite a few people then.
What, you had like 8 to 10 hosted classes that month?
Yeah, we did, and that was December. That was the month of December,
which is a hard
so
month.
I went for that nice Christmas approach, a nice kind of gathering with friends, but a more wholesome, uplifting one where you can discuss ways to help you get through the Christmas season without getting the flu. Or
you even did day classes, didn't you?
Yeah,
to fit it all in.
Yeah, we did a day and evening
because there wasn't enough evenings to get all the classes.
But that's when we were really pushing for rank, right? But it's a nice time of year to offer that.
Get it. I mean, thanks very much. You know, even just listening to, and it's not rocket science, is it? But it really actually helps you sort of broaden your thinking, you know.
Well, sometimes you get
Definitely.
you can think of so many outside the box ideas, and then you just forget the simple one.
Yes.
You're like, why did I think of that one?
Or when someone else says it, it just hits you more. You're like, yeah. That's a good idea.
We get that. We get that all the time.
Thank you a lot.
You're welcome.
Jerry, you've got your hand up.
Hi, I was just going to ask about the lives. So would you do that ad hoc, or would you prep and say, I'm going to be doing a live? How would the live class work?
Oh, a live class.
A live online, like a live.
You mentioned that if you're doing online classes, then switch up, and then you might do a live and vice versa. But if you were going to do a live, would you kind of do any planning, or is it just an ad hoc jump on?
And I'll definitely plan that. So a live, you're meaning a live online, aren't you? Just doing to reach out to lots of people. Yeah, I mean, you can do little ad hoc, kind of little couple of minute videos, you know, to almost advertise your live class. But certainly have the live class. Yeah,
we're meaning live classes, not
live,
go live on Facebook.
Well, sorry.
Yeah,
that's a good idea too.
That's a good idea.
It's a good idea, but that's what we were referring to.
Yeah,
it makes sense now. I was like, I don't understand how that's different from okay. Sorry, it's late.
Sorry, that is confusing.
Yeah, sorry. Brilliant, thank you.
Any other questions or anything? Anyone need any help with their rank? Everyone know what they're doing?
It was lovely to read some of the comments. Sorry, I should have read the comments earlier. I was just sitting there waiting for people to speak. So I'm really sorry about that, but it was lovely reading the comments, and thanks for the honesty in the comments as well. Some of them were quite vulnerable comments. I think it was Rebecca, great name, that said she just moved house. So yeah. Do you know what, the first summer that I was doing the business, I took off the whole summer because I thought I'm going to spend this summer with my kids. And then do you remember, it was really hard to get that momentum going after that summer holidays. I found it really hard. And the doubts then that I had and the blocks I had to overcome were almost harder than they were when I first started the business, because I was going in there then like excited and a bit naive as well. So I did find that really hard, because I can really relate to that, Rebecca.
Ideally you shouldn't have stopped completely.
Retrospectively, I mean, obviously moving house, things are going to slow down. There are going to be big things in your life that are going to slow you down, and again, it's just getting out of your head and just putting those things in and just getting out there and doing it. And it's amazing. You know, we've enrolled a lot of people, and I've had a bit of a break, you know, having Heath and stuff, and I haven't been enrolling near as